It was exactly 4:52 on a rainy Wednesday afternoon, when my entire life split completely in half. I was sitting in my truck, staring at the digital dashboard clock after spending 6 grueling hours waiting around at the airport. My in-laws' flight had been delayed twice, leaving me exhausted down to my very bones. Just as I put the key in the ignition, my cell phone began to vibrate violently on the passenger seat, showing a call from our housekeeper. I had no idea that a 4-minute phone call was about to shatter everything I believed about my marriage, my best friend, and my home. Before we dive into what I caught on those security cameras and how I handled it, hit that subscribe button right now, so you never miss another unbelievable story. Do it today so you stay connected to our community. While you are down there, leave a comment with your current location and the local time where you are watching this video. I want to see where everyone is tuning in from around the world today. Trust me, you will want to stay tuned until the very last second of this video because the way this unfolded will leave you completely speechless. To really understand how deep this betrayal cut, you have to know about a woman named Elena Delgado. Elena had worked as our housekeeper for a full decade, starting the exact week my daughter Chloe was born. She was not just someone who cleaned our floors, she was practically family to us, keeping a small notebook in her apron pocket where she carefully wrote down every important detail about our household. My name is Marcus Vance, a 46-year-old owner of a commercial contracting firm in Denver, and my biggest personal flaw was that I trusted the people in my life completely without ever second-guessing their motives. That afternoon, my wife Sarah stayed home claiming severe back pain while I handled the airport run. Driving down the highway, Eleanor's frantic call came through, her voice trembling as she begged me not to come straight home and to open my home security application immediately. My heart pounding against my ribs, I pulled my truck over into a roadside gas station parking lot and opened the live video feed. The high-definition camera in our living room was pointing directly at the dining room table where my wife was sitting across from my best friend Julian, with my master property deeds and corporate tax documents spread out between them. I turned the audio feed up on my phone, listening as the faint sound filled my truck cab. I heard Julian explicitly mention altering signatures on a contract, while my wife let out a cold, sharp laugh, saying I was too trusting to ever notice what they were doing until the transfer was completely finished. I sat frozen in that gas station parking lot for nearly 15 minutes, watching my wife rest her hand affectionately on Julian's arm, right next to legal paperwork bearing my forged name. Instead of exploding into a rage or rushing home, a strange, quiet calm settled over me as I realized the full extent of their deception. I called Elena back immediately, and she answered on the very first ring, her voice filled with deep concern for my well-being. When I asked her why she was risking her own job to warn me, she told me that I had treated her with respect and paid her reliably for 10 straight years. So someone in that house owed me the absolute truth. I chose not to return home that night, sending Sarah a quick text claiming I was staying at a hotel near the airport due to sudden fatigue. I checked into a local inn, sat on the edge of the bed, and carefully reviewed the notes Elena had secretly photographed from her pocket notebook. Early the following morning, I contacted my corporate attorney Victoria, who asked me a critical question regarding the actual legal names listed on the original property deeds and company charters. To my immense relief, because I had procrastinated on updating my legal paperwork years ago, everything remained solely in my name alone. Victoria explained that because Sarah was attempting to transfer assets without my knowledge using a revoked notary stamp, they were actively committing felony fraud. Over the next 9 days, I played the role of the oblivious husband, coming home every evening and acting completely normal while quietly gathering evidence. While they believed their scheme was progressing smoothly, my attorney and I were quietly executing a brilliant legal defense strategy in the background. On day 6, Victoria discovered that Sarah had already opened a secret holding account under her maiden name to receive the stolen corporate dividends. By day 7, I officially restructured my entire commercial firm into an irrevocable family trust. naming my daughter Chloe as the sole primary beneficiary. In addition to securing the business, I quietly sold a secondary property outright and established a fully funded, permanent financial account directly in Elena Delgado's name to ensure her lifetime security. By the 8th day of my silent operation, the trap had completely closed, and the panicky phone calls from Sarah began flooding my cell phone. She had just discovered that the secondary property had been legally transferred, and that the corporate accounts were completely frozen to outside access. Over the course of a single afternoon, I received nearly 40 missed calls from both Sarah and Julian, who was desperately trying to reach me from a burner phone. On Friday evening, I finally answered Sarah's call and instructed her to meet me alone at our main residence to lay all the cards on the table. She walked into the house defensively, already spinning an elaborate lie about how I was misunderstanding the legal paperwork she had been reviewing. Without saying a single word, I calmly placed the printed bank records, the notary suspension documents, and the finalized trust paperwork featuring Chloe's name directly onto the kitchen counter. When Sarah looked down at the official documents and realized that her access to my wealth had been completely severed, the color drained entirely from her face. She began accusing me of betraying her, but I looked her directly in the eyes and reminded her that my name was the only signature that legally mattered. Sarah packed her bags and walked out of my life that very night, moving into a temporary rental across town while the divorce was processed. Shortly after, Julian's commercial consulting business suffered a massive collapse as news of his fraudulent legal practices spread throughout the local business community. I never filed formal criminal charges against him, choosing instead to let his own destructive actions ruin his professional reputation completely. He lost his firm, his clients, and his standing in the city without me ever having to lift a single finger against him. Today I live in a peaceful home closer to my daughter's school, enjoying a level of tranquility I had not felt in many years. Elena still comes by twice a week to help manage my household, though our relationship feels far more like genuine family than employer and employee. Real strength comes from recognizing who truly stands by you when the sky begins to fall, and protecting those people with everything you have. If this story resonated with you today, share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, and tell me about the loyal person who had your back when you needed it most.